Good evening. Welcome to my weekly update for Sports-TV.Network from the touchlines with Hamza. And today we are going to discuss and update you on three games which was held last weekend in Colombo. Firstly, I'm going to talk about the two President's Trophy knockout semi-finals which was held at Royal Complex on Saturday and Sunday. Friday and Saturday. And the first game was between Zahira College and Trinity College Kandy. As you know, Trinity coming into the game as favorites, even though Zahira gave a brilliant fight in the first half, the scores were 12-all. And the best part of this game was, as you know, Shan Altaf of Trinity is known for his kicking and kicking at goal and kicking up and unders and cross kicks. However, I think Trinity coach has decided to move him to the fullback position from his favorite fly half position. And you saw Shan Altaf collecting the ball in their half, and he ran almost 70 meters to score a try on the left side of the post, running through the entire Zahira defense. So that's something that I would say the Isipathana coaching staff has to watch for in their final this weekend. And Trinity also dominated most of the breakdowns. And in the second half, we saw Zahira was not up to the mark. Probably fatigue was kicking in, and even though Lot were anticipating Trinity to crash down because of the hot weather. However, Trinity ran out as winners, 20 points to 12, and Zahira only managed to score those 12 points in the first half. And Zahira had players like Chunchi on the fly half, and I don't think he was 100% fit because he was not playing his usual game. The arch rivals between Royal College and Isipathana College. And in this game, we saw Isipathana running 3 tries very easily in the first half. And the first try was scored off a quick tap in the first 10 minutes. And that's something that probably even Trinity needs to watch, because you usually don't see a side like Isipathana, or for that matter, any team, would taking a quick tap in the first 10 minutes to score a try or off a penalty. And Royal definitely came back to the game in the second half, but their late rally was little too late. And even though Isipathana had a brilliant try scored by Saqib Zumri, and also Nevita also scoring 2 tries, and he's a big player. And as you know, that Saqib is coming into the scoreboard this season, and last game in the quarterfinal, he scored a hat-trick. And probably one of the key players for Isipathana this season in the forwards. And however, we saw some unfortunate incidents in the game. It's not unfortunate, probably some injuries. There was a concussion, and there was a head injury for one of the players. And also 2 players was carried off, 2 Isipathana players. So I'm not sure what the status of these players are. However, I'm sure that Isipathana coaching camp led by Danushka Boteju would have his alternatives coming into the Trinity game. And definitely this particular President's Trophy is a repeat of the 2012 final where Trinity lost to Isipathana. And Trinity last won this encounter, the President's Trophy finals, in 2011 under Murad Ramzi, in beating the same opponent, Isipathana, at Royal Complex itself. And Isipathana last won the trophy last year in 2024, beating Dulaj Navodya's unbeaten league champion, St. Peter's, at Sugadadasa. So the venue is set as Royal Complex. I'm not sure how both teams will react because, as you know, that Sugadadasa has a big wind factor playing from the right side to the left side, and Royal Complex being a little too compact. I'm sure the players would have played many games in this location, and probably one of the favorite locations for President's Trophy over the years was Royal Complex. Moving to the second game between Sri Lanka and New Zealand under 85s, which was held at Racecourse. The most significant factor for this game was the haka. Um, the haka was performed by a New Zealand team probably after 118 years, because the last game, which was played in 1907, was also at the same venue, or the race course, or at that time there was no rugby ground, but this whole area of Torrington was one particular lawn, and the records say that when All Blacks toured in 1907 to Colombo, they beat Sri Lanka. I mean, at that time it was Ceylon rugby, and it was a very significant factor for most of the Sri Lankans, especially the ones who in Colombo, because the tickets were sold out no sooner it was out. The grandstands were packed, and I'm sure the Candy fans also witnessed a haka for the first time in Nittavela, in their soil. And the best part of the game was the team, the Sri Lankan national team, the Tuskers, were led by the experienced Danushka Ranjan, because Nigel Ratwate was off from selection because he was sick and he was hospitalized. This is what I hear. And however, Tarinder Ratwate came in as a fly half, and I think Coach Martis and the management decided to play their A team in this game, and a lot were expected, honestly. It just that the first try came after about 10 minutes, even though Sri Lanka also had a lot of chances in the first half. It just that they couldn't finish those moves. Their backline was threatening most of the time. It just that if you see the clear difference between the two sides in that game, All Blacks was breaking tackles and they were offloading in tackles, and they had a lot of support play, whereas Sri Lankans, probably it was one of the tactics to rock the ball, build up many faces, but there were so many knock forwards in the breakdowns, and at the same time, uh, Sri Lanka, the forwards also played their hearts out. And it was 5-0, and then the second try came with a chip and chase. And this is something that even Sri Lanka would love to look at, because how New Zealand reacts for the defense line of Sri Lanka, how fast they react with chips, with cross kicks. And that's something that ability will come over the years with players, because they'll be able to read the game, they'll be able to scan the defense lines. And I'm sure Coach Martis and his coaching staff, has a lot to learn from this game. Even though the score stood 19-6, 19-3 for a while. A lot of fans are expecting Sri Lanka to score. Unfortunately, none of those backline moves were finished over the white line. And thereafter, New Zealand ran some brilliant tries in the second half. And Tarinder Rathwate put a super penalty from the 40 to make it 19-6, and thereafter the final scores were 17-6, I beg your pardon, and thereafter the final score was 32 points to 6 in favor of the New Zealand under-85 side. And once again, congratulations to the Baby Blacks, or the under-85 team, who is touring for the first time, and it's the first time that they're playing a match of this nature as a national outfit. And a brilliant concept by Sir Graham Henry, who was also present as a chief guest, handing over his trophy to the New Zealand captain. And I'm sure there are a lot of memories made by the New Zealand players. They have traveled to one of the most beautiful cities in Sri Lanka, Kandy, and also they had a lot of exposure, a lot of experience as tourists. I mean, not as players, with hospitality and the big All Black fan base in Sri Lanka, and a lot of people are cheering and taking photographs and selfies after the games, and they have been performing the haka even at the post-match dinner at Cinnamon Grand. We have three big games coming up in June for the national side against the top-notch teams, UAE, Hong Kong, and South Korea, in another few weeks' time. And I'm sure Coach Martis, Coach Luke, and Coach Salih Kumar would have a lot of things to do. But at the same time, the Sri Lankan national players also had a long season since last November. They have been playing many games for their clubs. The club league was dragging nearly 3 to 4 months, and with the Clifford Cup being played and with the national team training, I'm sure the fatigue fact is also definitely kicking in for the national players. I'm sure that with their conditioning over the next few weeks would definitely overcome that. I'm love to see how they perform in Colombo, especially with UAE at Racecourse and the other teams. And let's hope for the best. I'm sure that this weekend's game, once again, with the defending champions, the Green Machine, the Isipathana College and Trinity College, I'm sure Trinity would come all out, and it's not an easy task traveling to Colombo for 4 consecutive weekends. And I'm sure that Trinity coaching staff headed by Fazil Marija would definitely have something special stored for this game, and they will come out the best. And we are in for a cracker. So that's it from me for this weekend. And let me update you after the final next weekend about the games and the upcoming league. And have a great week. Thank you very much.